Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, Benny Abante back as Manila's 6th District Representative after a COMELEC division annuls the proclamation of congressman-elect Joey Uy. A grave warning from Iran's supreme leader over any U.S. military intervention in its war against Israel. The end of an era as the Bus family is reportedly selling the Los Angeles Lakers for a record-breaking deal. And talk about a pirate with a heart of gold. Johnny Depp once again addresses as Captain Jack Sparrow to surprise pediatric patients. We begin with news here at home. Benny Abante reclaims his seat as Manila's 6th District Representative. This as the COMELEC division cancels the certificate of candidacy of Congressman-elect Joey Uy more than a month after the midterm polls. Let's get more details on this breaking news from Joash Malimban. Joash.
The Commission on Elections 2nd Division has disqualified Manila Representative-elect Joey Uy. In its latest resolution, the COMELEC 2nd Division ruled in favor of outgoing Congressman Benny Abante, declaring that Uy is not a natural-born Filipino. As a result, Uy's certificate of candidacy has been voided, and his proclamation as winner in the 2025 midterm elections is hereby annulled. The resolution further declares that Benny Abante is the only qualified candidate for the position of representative of Manila's 6th District, making him the duly elected congressman. COMELEC Chairman George Garcia, however, clarified that the decision is not final and executory yet. Uy's camp can still file a motion for reconsideration within a 5-day period. In an interview with Billionaire news channels at the Forefront program, Abante says that he is hopeful that the COMELEC en banc will affirm the 2nd Division's decision should Uy's camp file for an MR.
The fact that na-establish naman na talagang he is naturalized. So when it comes to disqualification, talagang he is disqualified. Now, of course, hindi ko alam ang maaaring mangyari. Hopefully that the en banc would be supporting the 2nd Division.
Abante served as one of the co-chairmen of the House Squad Committee, which led a high-profile investigation into alleged controversies involving former President Rodrigo Duterte. Abante previously lost to Uy by a slim margin, garnering 63,358 votes against Uy's 64,746. Mai.
George, what will happen now to Joey Uy since he has already been proclaimed? Does he have to immediately relinquish his post?
Mai, the COMELEC's ruling can still be appealed. So as long as there is no final decision on this, Uy will proceed to take the Manila 6th District Representative position. Mai.
Thank you for that report, Joash Malimban. The Duterte Youth Party list not backing down despite the odds. The COMELEC 2nd Division earlier canceled the group's registration for failing to meet accreditation requirements. On Billionaire news channels at the Forefront, Duterte Youth Chairman Ronald Cardema said they will file a motion for reconsideration before the COMELEC en banc. But he admits they are not expecting a favorable ruling. Duterte Youth was in 2nd place in the party list race, but their proclamation was suspended pending ruling on a disqualification case.
Bakit kayo nagde-delay ng proclamation? Under the law, kumbaga ang trabaho ng COMELEC, i-supervise ang eleksyon, bilangin ang boto, tingnan kung sinong nanalo, at proklama yung nanalo. I am confident na ilalaglag tayo dyan sa en banc na yan.
Despite the presiding officer in the 2nd Division dissenting from this decision that came out canceling Duterte Youth registration.
Kasi medyo kahit naman po hindi tayo abogado, kahit yung mga tagapakinig natin na ngayon dito sa programa hindi abogado, makikita nyo pinopolitika lang tayo.
No final discussion yet on the Senate minority bloc in the 20th Congress. That's according to Senator-elect Kiko Pangilinan, who dropped by the Senate for a brief photo op. He says he has yet to sit down with fellow Senator-elect Bam Aquino due to scheduling conflicts. For now, his team is busy setting up his office and recruiting staff. On the looming impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte, Pangilinan stressed that the Senate, as a continuing body, is constitutionally bound to carry it forward.
I already said this, na continuing body ang Senate, therefore the 20th Congress, as jurisdiction has been established and acquired sa 19th Congress, it will carry over to the 20th Congress. At ang tungkulin natin is to try and decide the case. Kung walang ebidensya, o kulang ang ebidensya, hindi sapat, acquittal. Kung sapat naman ang ebidensya, conviction. So we have to go through the process. Kung meron silang ebidensya, ilabas nila at tayo ang magpapasya.
Davao City Congressman Paolo Duterte dismisses the challenge of Isambayan convener Howard Calleja to substantiate his claims against the group. The congressman earlier accused Isambayan of being an ally of House Speaker Martin Romualdez and President Bongbong Marcos after Calleja slammed delays to Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial. Calleja then dared the Davao lawmaker to show proof of such connection.
Gusto mo lang sumikat gamit pangalan ko. Para ka rin yung asong ulol. Magnotaryo ka na lang dyan. Huwag ka na makisali. Sa Bisaya, ang tawag na mo anabay, apil-apilon ka. Paghilom. Well, hindi ko kilala yan.
When asked about his father's case in the International Criminal Court, Pulong stood by his family's petition for the former president's interim release.
Huwag niyo kaming pigilan sa opinion namin sa tatay namin. Kasi kung tatay niyo yan, sana gusto niyo idasal ko, tatay niyo lahat patay na. Oh. Huwag kayo makialam kung anong gusto namin lumabas sa bunganga namin. Ano ba tayo? Demokrasya to ah.
Ano masasabi niyo nga doon sa mga kapwa Pilipino pa natin, no? Nagsasabi na dapat wag daw tanggapin ng ibang bansa si Tatay Dico.
Di kausapin niyo yung ibang bansa. Opinion niyo yan. May sarili kami, pamilya kami.
In other news, the son of slain businessman Anson Kez hails the Justice Department's decision to clear him in the kidnapping slay case. Anson Kez Camp says the decision affirms his innocence and disproves what he calls unfounded accusations against him. They vow to continue seeking justice for his father. The DOJ earlier found probable cause to charge Chinese national Gong Wenli, also known as Kelly, for allegedly orchestrating the kidnapping and murder. Anson Kez and his driver were found dead in Rodriguez, Rizal in March, despite a 200 million peso ransom paid for their release. A bleak growth outlook for the Philippine economy. The World Bank now expecting a 5.3% growth rate this year, compared to its previous forecast of 5.7%. It says it is seeing signs of substantial deterioration driven by lower export demand. On the supply side, global policy uncertainties are affecting the manufacturing sector. The World Bank stressed the need for fiscal reforms to boost stability and growth. Twenty-one Philippine officials stranded in Israel have safely evacuated to neighboring Jordan. Officials say they're now safe, even as the exchange of missiles between Israel and Iran continue to intensify. The officials who went to Israel on a study tour are expected to return to the Philippines this weekend. The embassy in Amman will also receive in the coming days the first group of Filipino workers exiting Israel through Jordan. These OFWs will be repatriated upon instructions from President Bongbong Marcos. Iran's supreme leader rejects U.S. President Donald Trump's demand for unconditional surrender. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei made that pronouncement in his first appearance since Israel began its military strike on Iran last Friday. Khamenei also issued a stark warning against possible U.S. intervention in the war. Trump earlier said America will not kill the supreme leader, at least for now.
The Iranian nation stands firm against the imposed war, as it has stood so far, and stands firm against the imposed peace. The Iranian nation will not surrender to anyone in the face of imposition. And of course, the Americans, those who are familiar with the politics of this region, know that America's intervention in this matter is 100% to their detriment. What they will suffer in this regard is much greater than what Iran may suffer. The damage America will suffer if it makes a military intervention in this field will undoubtedly be irreparable.
U.S. President Donald Trump and U.S. intelligence appear to be at odds over Iran's nuclear program. Trump believes Iran was close to developing a nuclear weapon before Israel launched its attacks. But intel suggests Iran was still years away. As the war enters its 7th day, Trump says he has not made a decision on how to proceed on Iran.
I have a plan for everything, but we'll see what happens. I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. I mean, especially with war. Things change with war. It can go from one extreme to the other. But with that being said, I would say right now, Israel, from the standpoint of winning a war, is doing pretty well. I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Demonstrators gather outside the White House to protest the ongoing war between Iran and Israel. Waving Palestinian and Iranian flags, the protesters called on the U.S. and Israel to end all military action in the Middle East. Iran has so far reported more than 200 deaths in the war, while Israel says 24 have died. U.S. President Trump has so far kept the world guessing about whether America will join Israel's attacks on Iran.
My position is just peace. I don't know what they're doing. Like, all the governments are doing the worst they can do. All of them. I don't want war in Iran. Actually, it's my country. I don't want it to be destroyed. Because like Benjamin Netanyahu is thinking we are having the nuclear weapon. It's like no fact based on that. He's just bombing in Iran without any facts.
Israel's ambassador claims the supposed threat of a nuclear war by Iran has been removed following precision strikes on key facilities and scientists. On Billionaire News Channel's Business 360, Ambassador Ilan Flass said Israel acted unilaterally to neutralize what it saw as an imminent threat with or without U.S. support.
I think this operation actually removed the threat of a nuclear war. They were really racing towards that goal, and we have removed this threat. So again, I'm not an expert. I'm a diplomat, but it seems I don't expect to see a nuclear war. We are not there.
Plus emphasized that civilians, including Filipinos in Israel, are not targets and that warnings are given before any attacks. He also assured the public that the Strait of Hormuz remains stable and energy supply is uninterrupted for now. But the ambassador says talks of peace remain premature until Israel's security objectives are met. We're taking a break. Still to come, the end of an era in the NBA as the Buzz family is reporting selling the Los Angeles Lakers. That and more when Newsfeed at Noon returns. You're back at Newsfeed at noon. The National Kidney and Transplant Institute unveils an expanded support package in a bid to improve access to treatment for chronic kidney disease. President Bongbong Marcos attended the launch this morning in Quezon City. Pierre Pastor joins us now for the details. Pierre.
Hi, Mai. 144 dialysis sessions. PhilHealth will now, from 144 dialysis sessions, PhilHealth will now cover 156 sessions. President Bongbong Marcos announced this as he visited the National Kidney and Transplant Institute in Quezon City this morning. He led the launch of the PhilHealth's new benefits for post-kidney transplantation services. The president also added that from 600,000 coverage for kidney transplantation last year, the new coverage will be up to 2.1 million pesos. Chronic kidney disease is a pressing global health issue with a prevalence of 9.1% to 13.4% of the worldwide populations. In the Philippines, 1 in every 3 people has the possibility to have CKD. This entails long and expensive hospitalization that will affect the quality of life of the patients and the livelihood of their families. That is why, through the directive of President Marcos, PhilHealth expanded the benefits of the CKD patients, especially for dialysis and transplantation, and the improved Z benefits package for the post-kidney transplantation services for pediatric patients and adults, and even for the kidney donors. PBBM also inspected the NKTI facility and was quite happy with the improvements that he saw. He also greeted the patients at the Hemodialysis Center and the Hemodialysis Center Extension. Mai?
Thank you. Pierre Pastor reporting to us from Quezon City. Time now for sports. In the NBA Finals, all eyes on Tyrese Haliburton ahead of the Indiana Pacers' do-or-die Game 6 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Haliburton sustained a no-contact calf injury in Game 5, a setback that clearly affected his scoring performance. Results of his MRI have yet to be disclosed. But with the Thunder just 1 win away from the title, Haliburton says this moment is too big to sit out.
I mean, it's NBA Finals. It's the finals, man. I've worked my whole life to be here, and I want to be out there to compete, help my teammates any way I can. I was not great tonight by any means, but, it's not really a thought of mine to not play here. If I can, walk, then I want to play, so...
Game 6 takes place at the Gainesbridge Fieldhouse in Indiana tomorrow, June 20 at 8:30 a.m. Philippine time. Is change coming to La La Land? A stunning report from ESPN says the Los Angeles Lakers are on the verge of an ownership shakeup. The Bus family is said to be entering an agreement to sell the Lakers' majority ownership to diversified holding company TWG Global. The deal values the Lakers at $10 billion, making it the largest ever sale of a professional sports team. Despite the sale, Jeannie Buss is expected to stay on as team governor. The Buss family has owned the Lakers since 1979, guiding the team to multiple championships, including the Showtime era of the 80s and the Shaq and Kobe three-peat in the 2000s. But the team's most recent campaign ended in a first-round exit to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're taking another break. Up ahead, Captain Jack Sparrow pays a special visit to a hospital in Spain. The details when we return. Stay with us. You're still watching Newsfeed at noon. Britain's Princess of Wales unexpectedly misses the famed Royal Ascot race. Sources say Kate is, quote, still finding the right balance following a battle with cancer last year. Her husband, Prince William, attended Wednesday's royal procession in southern England alongside his father, King Charles, and Queen Camilla. Royal Ascot is a key event in the royal calendar. It sees top horses from around the world compete over 5 days in races worth up to £1 million. Here's something for Oasis fans. A 1996 portrait of Liam and Noel Gallagher heads to auction in London next week. Sotheby says the artwork was painted by a U.S. artist based on a promotional photograph of the siblings. It was made at the height of their Oasis fame.
1996 is the summer when they played Nebworth. Obviously, that was their first major concert, 250,000 people. I think it was 2.5 million people applied for tickets back then. So it was an incredibly exciting moment for Oasis. This is the largest one that we know of the two brothers. So, and for it to be on panel is incredible.
The painting will go under the hammer on June 24 with a price estimate of £1.5 to £2 million. It comes ahead of the band's reunion gigs, which will kick off next month. And before we go, talk about a pirate with a heart of gold. Johnny Depp brings Captain Jack Sparrow to life once again to surprise kids at a hospital in Spain. The Pirates of the Caribbean star interacted and played with children while touring the oncology area. This comes as Depp is filming his upcoming project, Day Drinker, also in Spain. This isn't the first time that the Hollywood actor surprised pediatric patients as Captain Jack. He previously visited hospitals in several other cities, including Paris and Vancouver. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Stay with the Billionaire News Channel. Good afternoon.